Energy supplies. What's the future? How should you handle them? We're going to talk about that today on our Allied Cooperative program with Jeff Bunker. And Jeff is director of Propane. And Jeff is in the West Salem office down there in the La Crosse area, south of La Crosse, for Allied Cooperative. And Jeff, first of all, director of Propane. Now, we've got a separate division at the co-op handling the propane energy situation?
Yes, we do, Bob. We've, with the recent merger of Provision's partners and Allied Cooperative, it's quite a enterprise that we've got going on there. We've got approximately 20,000 tanks in our trade area that we service, and we have a full-time department that is dedicated to propane year-round. So, yes, we've got lots going on in that end of it.
That must mean a lot of trucks are on the road, too.
Yeah, we've got approximately, I think there's 22 bobtail delivery trucks that we at times have going every day. Certain times of the year, obviously, it slows down a little bit, but during the peak of the season, that's kind of what we had rolling. So we also have a full-time service department in about 4 different areas there where we have service techs on standby for any issues that might arise with the tanks.
So where are we now as far as the propane season is concerned? Are we busy delivering? Have we got it all done? Where are we at?
It's lingering on a little bit here with some of these cooler nights. Sometimes in the spring it just dries right up to where you don't really have much at all, and then you wait till kind of a summer fill type program. But we've got a little bit going on for deliveries. Obviously not as busy as where things had been the previous months. We had a very, very busy winter. As most people know, that it was definitely colder than what it was the previous winter. It was a pretty solid winter just because it was cool. It wasn't super, super cold. The road conditions were good for deliveries, so we had a very good winter.
Where are we now, Jeff, as far as the season? The deliveries are out there, and yet people want to maybe fill their tank this summer. How much will the price change, and how do you look at that? And what advice do you have for people that want to get a summer fill-up, even though we're only here the end of April, first part of May?
That's always the million-dollar question in our business this time of year, what it's going to do. Seasonality usually plays a role in the pricing, and historically the summer pricing is cheaper. That's why we do a summer fill to get those gallons out there then, and that also helps us build allocation that we've got for the winter months. But right now, I would say just the way it's looking, I think we're going to be slightly less than where pricing was last year. Summer fill should be a little bit less than the current market price, just based on what the futures are looking like for those few months.
And it sounds like availability is going to be there. What kind of, program for farmers that need it for their grain bins?
For the corn drying, again, that's always one that you never know because you start talking about booking dryer gas before the seed sometimes even gets in the ground, and you never know what the season's going to be. But, for the fall here, definitely we should have good, solid availability of propane in our area. The fall is usually not an issue. That actually kind of drives where we might be for the winter. If we have a very busy fall and it kind of sucks our inventories and supply down a little bit, and then you get a cold winter right away, that's when we can run into some supply issues.
Jeff Bunker is with us, Director of Propane with Allied Cooperative. Jeff down in the West Salem office. And Jeff, I have to ask you, where does this propane supply come from? And if we import it in, tariffs are part of the news. How much can that disrupt things as we go forward, depending on how tariffs are handled?
That's, again, the kind of the unknown is where that's all going to go. At this point, the tariffs really haven't affected propane all that much. And it looks like that may be a product that might kind of escape that end of it there. But again, that's to be determined, I guess I'd say. But yeah, we get a lot of our propane in this area comes in on rail from Canada or up in North Dakota and the Bakken area up there, some production, but a lot of it's coming from Canada. That definitely is a factor and something that everybody's looking at with what's going forward here.
And I would imagine
we also do have a pipeline system that from the south that comes up out of mainly Kansas, and we've got a couple terminals that we get product off the pipeline as well. So we always look to have multiple sources of propane just to make sure that, if one of them is having issues, we can rely on the other to keep all of our customers warm for the winter.
And that's the secret. Stay on top of your propane situation with Allied Cooperative. Jeff Bunker can help you out. Jeff, quick question. You guys put out a daily or a weekly news item on a website or an email or something like that for informing consumers what's going on?
Yeah, we've got our sales force, not just your regular residential customers. There's not too much on a daily basis that we put out from that end, but some of our accounts that we work with, commercial type accounts that have gas, diesel, propane, we have an email that goes out to those guys daily with kind of an update on what's going on.
All right.
They always contact any one of our offices and ask any of the CSRs what their thoughts are and where the pricing's at, and they'd be more than happy to help.
All right, find out. Keep on top of this propane market. Jeff Bunker with us, Director of Propane with Allied Cooperative, joining us this morning on our Allied Cooperative program. I'm Bob Bosold.